back to the show. I'm Taves. It's been an interesting Yuletide pod so far. If you listen to the first part, if you haven't, go listen to that now. Otherwise, the second part will make absolutely no sense to you. We pick up in the middle of a section of Midtown stories about people from college. In this particular instance, it's affectionate stories, not, WTF stories. But they're, aimed at being somewhat funny. So the first story that you're hearing is a story about this guy, Tom Kerr, from college. So that's where we pick up. So enjoy the rest of this two-part episode, and I'll see you on the other side of it to do a little wrap-up. The other time that he was apt to drink that was funny was he had a few drinks and then was very satisfied with himself because he made a couple of okay jokes at my expense. And he went to go sit in a chair that was a leather recliner, and the chair was wobbly. So he goes to sit in the chair upside down because he's all proud of himself, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a new position I can get into. So he puts his head where the feet rest is, and he puts his legs where the top of the chair would be. And so the chair tips over.
Yep.
And then he's sitting there hard on the floor, looking up like, how the fuck did I get here? And it's like, dude, you were told the chair's unstable. What are you doing? So, yeah, that garnered a laugh in terms of him being unstable. In terms of a funny interaction between him and I. At one point, he and I were out drinking, and once again, he used his famous quote of, I can drink you under the table. And to that I said, I don't go that way. And then he responded something about, back when I was born, and I said, you weren't born, you were squeezed out of a bar rack. And that produced a similar effect for him.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's an old W.C. Fields joke, but it works.
Yeah.
W.C. Fields being from the 1930s and 40s in the films.
Yeah.
And 20s. Anyway, the film I would recommend to you if you're going to see W.C. Fields' film is You Can't Cheat an Honest Man. It's him with Edgar Bergen, and Edgar Bergen is this ventriloquist who has a few dummies, Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snerd being two of them that are in the film. Mortimer Snerd's the dumb one. So, like, you might say, how old are you, Mortimer? And he'd go, I don't know. And they'd say, well, what's your last name? Trying to think of it. So it's that kind of thing. In terms of Charlie McCarthy was always the wise ass. So, he might look at W.C. Fields and say, is that a tomato or are you eating your nose? Or, one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it's a fun film. Not long at that either. It's a short one. It's good. Anyway, there was a lot of characters I've been going to college where, like, old humor would sneak in and it would be surprised. But back to Steffany Kutcher. there was one point where, for some reason or another, and this is not bragging by any stretch of the imagination, she said something that's like one of her few sober moments, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But she said something about sex for some reason. I forget exactly what the statement was, otherwise I'd say it again. But she said something and I said, I'd rather you wouldn't. As a joke. And just as I said that, she goes, oh really? And pulls down her shirt and bra to reveal one of her breasts.
Wow.
And I just went, and closed my eyes.
Did you really?
Yeah. And so, you know, for like the rest of that week, people were torturing me. Oh yeah, did you enjoy that time? No. Oh, don't be.
Was she attractive?
Not to me.
Not to you?
Not to me. Maybe to somebody else, but not to me. She was nice, don't get me wrong, just not attractive to me. But she was also somebody that wouldn't do her homework. So then she'd always wonder why she was failing the class that she was in.
Wow.
It's like, you do realize that homework's like 85% of the grade, right?
I know, it really is. Like, most teachers, like, as long as you put the effort in, you can get, like, at least a C to pass. You can at least pass.
Well, that's the thing. I'd bust my ass and I'd be getting B's and C's.
Yeah.
She would do shit, get F's, and I'd go, why?
You're right. I mean, if you don't show the effort, then that's half of the battle.
Right. But, she just didn't apply herself.
Right. And some people don't,
Yeah, but now she's in California working in movies. Go figure. Yeah, she knew what she was doing. She just couldn't put it into the textbook sense.
Yeah. Too smart for her own good type of thing.
Again, I'm going in because I remember all the blonde moments.
Was she, like, paying people to do her homework or something? Your way through college?
No. No, she didn't go that route as far as I know, but it was things like...
Did she get kicked out eventually, though, because of her grades?
No, she just left and went off to California. No, but there was, like, one thing where she would, like, bribe people to be in the movies that she was making at the school.
Right.
And the films were okay, but...
Not perfect or great.
Right, but there's always the problem of, like, she had to bribe people to be in the films because she didn't always know what she wanted. She just kind of ad-libbed the film without a real script in place, so nobody really knew what to do.
So she didn't organize anything. She just...
Right.
Oh, do this as you went along. Like...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, it's like, imagine if I tried to do that Jack the Ripper film, and I said, stand here,
Yeah.
You're going to take a knife to the throat in this scene, or whatever. That wouldn't fly.
Right.
No.
Of course, at the time I did the Jack the Ripper film, I was under heavy censorship from the school. That was fun.
Oh, I remember I was in that, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Do you have that on you? Could I watch it?
I have it on a computer. But that computer is packed up at the moment.
It is?
Yeah.
You don't have it on that computer?
Not this one, no. No, it's in the rafters of the garage. But I do have it.
It crashed or the computer works?
The computer still works. It's just I don't have room to put it anywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the funny part of this then is that in terms of the censorship, there's things like, you remember that day that I said, okay, we're going to cover you in blood and do this, like, end of the movie murder scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so we cover you in blood, and I was lining up the shot, and it was like, here, up, kind of thing, like, just below your neck, up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, you can't show anything below that.
Her neck?
Yeah. And I'm going, really? You do realize that in the general context of I need a wide shot to go into the close-up, there is going to be a necessity for this to be shot. She's like, well, you have to...
I forgot what I wore.
It was like sweatpants and a white t-shirt. I think it was pink sweatpants and a white t-shirt. But, you got a t-shirt that was like 2 sizes too big or something because they didn't have one in your size. So you were walking around holding your shirt like this, and I said, what is it? He said, oh, the shirt's 2 sizes too big. And so, you're holding it, and I said, Beth. So Beth came over and gave you like a little clip to clip your shirt to hold it in place while you're walking around and stuff.
Right.
And I said, that clip can't be in the shot, so you're going to have to, lay on your side and then, roll over to your back. Mm-hmm. And, that will make it so you don't have the clip there.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we can do that. So we put the blood on you, and this is after I get the wide shot and the closer-up shot. Mm-hmm. And I said to Andrew, okay, again, Andrew Sylvester, I said, okay, put your hand on Steffany's arm, shaker, and then, because he was doubling for Jonathan Burns.
Yeah.
So I said, when you pull her towards you, step out of the way so that you're not in frame anymore.
Yeah.
And she's just got to roll over, fainting dead. So you did it, and the first time you did it, you nearly rolled into me, and I'm holding you. That's like not quite that far. So.
That's funny.
That was the first time. Second time we did it, which is the one that was used in the film. I got the shot, and it was, you're just rolling over onto your back. And so I did a screening of it up in college. And when I did it up in college, they said, who's that beautiful girl that you poured blood all over for the end of that scene? I was like, oh, this is Steffany. And they're like, can we have her number? We've got some films that we'd like her to be in. I was like, what kind of films are we talking about? They're like,
oh, God. Are you kidding me? Those type of films? What'd you say?
I said, I don't know as she'd be doing that.
What do you like famous people? Or best friends?
No, these were college students that had minds in the gutter.
I see.
Yeah, no, this was not vivid entertainment. Thank you very much.
No, I know. But I meant like these weren't like people like in the media industry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, this isn't anybody that like would parlay your career into something else. Yeah. No, this was just like, hey guys, come on, get with the program, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, yeah, again, just a bunch of odd characters up there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so, we did the Jack the Ripper film.
Right.
Years later at Burlington College, or a couple of years later, I had the Jack the Ripper film idea again, and they said, "Oh, we want you to, do this short film."
Yeah.
And now I'm a Ripper-phile, so I can always find another Ripper aspect to do. So I just seen the Lodge of the Hitchcock film about Jack the Ripper. It was like, okay, let me, try to do something with this. So I wrote like a little silent film version of the Lodger that would play out in a 2-minute video, which is what I was allotted, 2 minutes. So I said, okay, let me write this out very quickly. There's a couple of shots, there's a couple of talking cards, and we're good to go. So I wrote this out. It's like 4 pages. And, well, you saw the way that I direct things. It turns into a very short thing. So I wrote this little 4-page thing and said, okay, here it is. Submitted it, got it approved by the teacher, so forth and so on. I started casting it. And then I said to somebody, look, this is a young lady, said, look, I'm not trying to be crude here. I want you to, feel comfortable doing this, but do you have a bathing suit for this one shot? And it's not going to be anything we're doing where I shoot you from here up, and your feet.
That's played that part, I remember.
Right. I said, we're going to, shoot you from the knees down, and we're going to shoot you from the neck up.
Yeah.
So all I need you to do is just, if you have a tube top, thank you, a tube top, bikini or bathing suit, wear that and it will work for the shot. The idea was that she was going to be in the shower and the Ripper was going to pull the thing back a la Psycho and go like that with the knife, and then you do a quick shot of her falling down.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, I remember when you did that.
So, I said that's going to be the, shot. Well, the next day after I pitched that to her, 12 guys came to my door and knocked. Yeah? Can you come out here for a minute? Guys with baseball bats and...
Oh my god, you're kidding.
No, there's guys
door?
Yeah, there's guys with baseball bats, skateboards, all this other stuff. It's like, can I help you? And they're like, yeah, we're here because you said this thing to this girl and she's all freaked out. But I said, no, that's not what I said. What I said was this. Here's the shots. Tell me if this looks offensive to you. So they read it and they said, oh, that's nothing. I said, right. They said, oh, because she said this and we just wanted to make sure that that wasn't the case. Nope, that wasn't the case. Okay, sorry for the misunderstanding. I said, do me a favor, next time just come ask me. It'll be a lot easier. You don't have to show up with the heavy artillery. So they're like, okay. So...
yeah, it's like, yeah, she must have said something.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, apparently, she told her boyfriend, who was one of the guys that showed up with the skateboard, that I had said something about her being naked.
Yeah. What? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, that's not quite what I said. So I went through, again, the shots and stuff. It's like, show me where it says any of the stuff that you're alleging that I said. And it's like, oh, okay, nothing bad. It's like, right.
Right, exactly. It was all like,
Yeah, she's just trying to make a big deal and make a big scene about it.
Right, so then it was like, okay, yeah, now I have to do a different project.
Yeah.
So, like, 2 minutes before that class,
Yeah.
was supposed to happen, the teacher said to me, do you have an idea of what you want to do for your final project? Because you're supposed to submit your script. I said, yeah, can you give me 5 minutes of class time and I'll write you up a different script because I didn't have time to do it because of this other thing that happened. So she said, okay, so I took 5 minutes, wrote up a little thing of a guy and a girl going to a bookstore or a library and taking out a bunch of books, and then the books being too heavy for the guy to handle, so he drops them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in it. I was the guy that dropped all the books.
Yeah.
And the short is called Dutiful But Dumb.
Yeah.
And it's just the books pile up, past my head, and then the drop, and then I go, make a silly face. So, yeah, that happened, and then it teaches like, your project sucks, but I'm passing you on the premise. Thank you.
I know.
So, yeah, it's like, well, did you like the other one more? Because I would have rather done that.
Right.
Up until the guys with baseball bats came.
I know, seriously.
I would have picked another girl and be like, you know what, screw her. Like,
that was the problem. The guy was trying to prevent that from happening. And it's like, not for nothing, but I wasn't trying for that. I was just trying to get somebody in the shot.
Right.
You gotta ask for like a tube top shirt or something. With like shorts.
Right, but I mean, in a shower, that's gonna.
Oh. Yeah, that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, well,
But I'm gonna use that when we're back.
Go ahead.
Meet you guys back down here?
Yep. So anyway, that's the Burlington College story of the Ripper. On a different topic, you had a, I should mention, you had a point that I wanted to get back to, though, of the, suicide. I don't want to belabor the point, or whatever you want to say about it, but what I do want to say is this, is, most people, unless they go through something like that themselves, do not understand what that feels like. And speaking as somebody with chronic depression, it's not easy, and, it sucks.
It does suck.
But, the trick is, I'm not saying this is easy by any stretch of the imagination, but the trick is trying to figure out the things that are going to get you out of bed every day and get you to, the next thing that you're doing.
Yes. Everybody was on my case and trying to tell me, Kayla, they're giving me positive feedback and things that I wanted to do in my life, and a lot of my friends are like, Kayla, we want to be with you until we're like dead. We want to be able to have like our children play together, and like a lot of positive things, and like all of us together as years come, like, and I started, like, I had to keep positive. Also, like, at that time, my niece and nephew actually came to the hospital, and they were still pretty young, but no, my nephew's like gonna be 13 or so, and my niece is 10. So, this was back in '06, no, '08 or '09.
Okay.
They didn't know what was going on. And I had a new niece who was born in '07. And I started thinking of them, how much I wanted to see them grow up, also be there for them. Also, I started thinking about myself. Like, I wanted to graduate high school, go to college, get married, have kids, see my grandchildren, also be able to travel, go back to Brazil, maybe find my mom, my half-sister, my grandparents, if they're still alive. Also find out who's my father. Just like, I had to keep positive and also find what I wanted to do with my life, like what kind of career I wanted.
Right.
Like, I had to think positive, and also after my grandmother died, I knew that I had to live on, and also that she would not be happy with me joining her.
Prematurely.
Yes, like, too soon. So, also, my friends kept reaching out and also supporting me, and people wrote to me, and many people from my church kept sending letters, gifts, like, lots of prayers, and so it was very comforting. So I started getting better, and I knew that I had to. So my goal was, I need to graduate.
Right.
I need to be there for my family, and
Right.
also be with my nephew and nieces.
Right.
Also help out my little sister.
Right.
And get my ass in gear and not just mope around forever.
Right.
And that your time will come whenever it happens.
Right.
And that, Kayla, you have so much that you want to do before you die, and it's not now. And also, I got a lot of help, and Wayside, there was a woman who was from the military. She kept so much positive feedback for me, and I made so much friends there. Everybody went through a lot like me,
Mm-hmm.
and we all support each other. It was just one happy family, but also there was a lot of fights, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, physical fights. But also we watched videos, like, how much of, like, those interventions, like, how much suffering you give to your family.
Right.
And I've never done drugs, so I don't take or steal or do drugs and hurt my family by that.
Right.
I'm
just gonna grab something there.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
But with all the depression and not moving on with my life, I saw that I needed to get myself better and better. And with all the intervention movies and videos, and also going back to school, getting my grades up, getting honors every month, getting all A's, and being a perfect student, it was much better. And I became way happier. And I was...
That's recording stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I was,
This is a long podcast.
I was getting out more. I was out a lot. And I was rarely home. And I was out with my friends. And so a lot did happen. And I became a happier person than I once was in elementary school. So I got help and always help people in need. And I'm always there for someone whenever they're down. And
Pardon me, that's what
I
I'm
know, like, with all the suicides over the years of, like, young teens, like, people need to stop bullying. And also, I've lost some friends. I lost many friends over the years to drunk driving, suicide, drugs, and car accidents and drunk driving. I've lost many people that I cared about, and it's heartbreaking because many of them were my age and a few years older than me, and it wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
It was devastating, and you realize that life is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and that people still suffer till today, and without you there, people are still remembering you, and that they're lonely and how much they miss you.
Right.
And also, when you're really depressed and suicidal, you need to get help. Like, even the suicidal hotline, you should call and get help. Because that's the most important thing that you should do. Because you need to talk to someone and express how you feel and not bottle it up. Just express, like, let it all out. Cry it all out to someone. Vent to someone, and, like, talk to anybody, really. And let them... Tell them what's going on, like why you're feeling so down, or if you're being bullied or being harassed or like raped or whatever. Like, tell someone, let people know. Like, someone's always there to help you no matter what. Like, you're not alone. There's many people in this situation, and there's so many people nowadays, like young kids, like young teenagers, girls and boys, in the media. Like, just recently, a young boy of 12 who was a cheerleader was bullied so badly. He was 12. He took his own life. And when I read that, how much he was bullied because he was a cheerleader, and he was very good at it. How could you bully a kid who was very talented and wanted to do something that he loved so dearly, and bullied him, teased him, name-called him, and humiliated him all the time to the point that he wanted to kill himself? That was the result of what he did. Like, so many people are outraged. You need to stop bullying people. And, like, people shouldn't hide anymore. Like, with Robin Williams and the girl from GRL, the group who committed suicide, and other people committing suicide of actors and actresses over the years. Like, it's been awful. Like, we lost the greatest comedian this year, and we lost...
Till when they got Joan Rivers.
Yes, we lost Joan Rivers. And we lost a girl who was very talented. A young 25-year-old girl from a band called GRL. Simone, who is very talented and hanged herself just like Robin Williams did.
Who? Simone.
You know, the girl. I mean, people need to
Google question.
say something.
No, it's just.
Like,
yeah, I want to
let people know that you're suffering, and someone will help you.
I mean, I can tell you on my own part, I've gone through several depressing stages. One was just the clear case of clinical depression from bullying at Willow Hill. Another was the problems with my grandfather's health resulting in his death while I was up at college getting bullied. My grandmother died after I got out of college, so she didn't get to see the one film that I did work on with a professional filmmaker. She never got to see that film. Then, in the course of college, there was stuff like a girl, the one who sprained my right knee, died of a heart arrhythmia while visiting on-campus housing while I was at the Sundance Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So when people at the film festival that were there with me found out about this girl dying, they looked at me like I had done it. It's like, hey, I was here with you guys. I didn't do anything. There was bullying from her sister towards me. There was a couple of girls, Shauna and Megan Murphy, you can find them on the internet if you look them up, that got killed drunk driving, speeding home to meet a curfew in Southborough on Worcester Road. And Shauna was a senior, and Megan was a year or two younger. Both of them got killed in the front seat, and the passenger in the back seat survived. That anniversary just hit the 9-year anniversary this year, in October 13th. And the MERS died on November 23rd, 2013. Each one of those events led to bouts of depression. And I also have PTSD from college. Frankly, since MERS died, it's always like, why do I want to get out of bed today? And not to sound sentimental or stupid or anything, but some of the reasons why I might get out of bed are I want to write something, I want to see a movie, I've got an appointment to go to, seeing my dog every day, and seeing friends when I see them. So I found reasons to get out of bed every day.
Also go to the bathroom and eat.
Bathroom I can live without, but...
So you can just pee in your bed? Ma, I need a diaper change.
Well, I'll tell you what, try spending a week without power and see how many times you can go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So, kind of a value changer there.
Yeah.
But that being said, the point of what I'm saying is that, you know, I have found ways to deal with it, as you were saying.
Yeah.
You know, and again, yeah, you know, you call the suicide prevention hotline, get voluntarily committed if you think you need that. At least go to a therapist if
yeah.
nothing else. Certainly friends and family can help, but only to a certain extent. But the other thing that, yeah, it sounds stupid. Two things that sound stupid. One, podcasts help. Me, anyway. Because it gives me a venue to talk.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's helped you at all in terms of sharing your story tonight, whatever it is. But, you know, you have somebody listening, you have somebody that cares.
Yeah.
And you got an outlet for it. You're able to air your frustrations with people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I do podcasts. And that's one of the things that I find is trying to connect with people in that regard helps.
Right.
The other thing is related to depression, that, you know, everybody expects comedians to be fun all the time.
Yeah.
You know, if I talk to Jen Healy, for example, she expects that I'm going to always be there with a joke, always, you know, be there. I'm not always on with a joke. I'm being serious right now, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I prefer to go to a joke, but I recognize that there's a need to be serious at points.
Yeah. Cool.
So, you know, for me, humor is a way of relating to people. You know, you talked about dating a little bit. In the dating realm of things, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, you say one thing to somebody, it might make them excited, it might not. You say something to somebody else, it might piss them off, you never know. So, you know, for me, it's one of those things of like, what's the great equalizer? Humor. You know, and humor for me, in terms of my life, is either I'm laughing at the old jokes like Who's on First, or, well, the very old ones, or I'm enjoying, hearing stories like what you're talking about with some of the things about Kathy Barad and what have you. You know, that stuff's fun to do. Because it's like, oh yeah, let's, riff on this topic or that topic, and who's going to get the bigger laugh, who's going to have the funnier line. Usually not me. But in the instances of other things that have happened, I've used humor to kind of retaliate against some of the folks.
Yeah.
You know, college, for example. Barry Snyder, the head of the film department at the time that I was there,
Yeah.
went and was saying, "Oh well, you you can't use a digital camera in a film production class." I said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, it's not fair to the other students." I said, "Oh, you're right. I asked for this disability, so I can't drive. I suck at math and science. I have trouble with computers. And so I'd have a technological leg up on everybody in class. Here's your sign, Barry." And, he didn't exactly get it, but he had a look on his face like, "I just said something stupid, didn't I?"
Yeah.
It's funny to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
But it cut him down a couple of pegs from his high horse.
Right.
And that's where
What
I'm
you're
going
at, yeah.
That's what is kind of turn that into let's bring people down to where we're all equal.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's hysterical when Gene said to me, "I don't think you know what it takes to run a college." I said, "I don't think you do either." But again, like, would that joke have worked if somebody had said something different? No.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing that I think is funny. Anybody can tell a joke. You've done a few tonight that we're not recording, some that were. If you look at any of the jokes, it's all in the wording.
Yeah.
What, for example, would you think if I said, "Okay, here's my big rant for the night. You ready?"
Okay.
My dad had heart trouble
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it came back in spades last year. Or, no, was it last year? Yeah, last year. Came back in spades last year. He had to have open heart surgery and all that stuff. When we were dealing with that, they said in the middle of it, we're giving him a cow valve in his heart.
Oh, wow.
And goddamn, my brain sometimes, my head kicked into full gear. It would joke mode, and I started laughing as soon as I heard cow valve. And they said, "What's so funny?" He said, "He eats steaks and burgers all the time. He's getting a cow valve. It's going to be slightly cannibalistic." So, that garnered a laugh, just as it did now.
Yeah.
I told that to a shrink that I have, screaming with laughter. He goes, "I'm going to have to remember that when I'm talking to my brother-in-law next time that he's eating bacon because he has a pig valve in his heart." So...
That's too funny.
So it's one of those things. It's like,
yeah.
Shit,
I know. Should
you could do jokes so you blow in the face, but the truth of the matter is that, like, there's truth in humor. You can make something funny out of something that's not funny.
Right.
It's just a matter of how you choose to look at it, and that's what I've chosen to do, is try to look at things with a funny filter on.
Right.
That doesn't always work. I'm not always in the mood to do that. Like when I'm sick.
Yeah.
Forget it. You're not going to get a joke out of me.
Yeah.
But if I'm just like not feeling real great, but my brain's going 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Then look out. You're at the most danger. But, you can do it. But if you took that joke that I told about my dad, would it have been funnier if I had said it's going to be cannibalistic?
No.
Or is it funnier that I said slightly cannibalistic.
Slightly.
Because it's the heart.
Yeah.
So it's just...
The way you word.
Yeah. And that's the thing that, you know, when people come up, I'm sure people will say this to you, Kayla. Where do you come up with these things when you're saying something funny?
Yeah.
Where do you come up with these things? Life?
I don't know, I just came up with it. Came out of the blue. Thought of it. Really funny.
Right. But it's like, life.
Yeah.
Get it from life in terms of, you know, where do you come up with these things? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, just thought of it, just said it. Another one that I had with my dad, we were talking about a series of emails that were going back and forth between him and some of his work buddies. And he was getting ready to go back to work after the open heart surgery.
Yeah.
And he was happy, he was trying to get into it with a little bit of humor before he started work. He was like, oh yeah, this is good, I'm getting worked up, getting ready. Worked up, this bad pun there. So, you know, he's reading a couple of the emails, and one of them said something about somebody being a cold-hearted bastard. And it sounded, to me anyway, it sounded like they were talking about my dad. That wasn't the case, they were talking about somebody else, but didn't find out until the following email after what my dad sent out. But when he finished reading the email, it was like, you know, cold-hearted bastard. It is the last line of the email. Well, so he's laughing, and I said, they just worked up the heart to get it, fix it. You know, or they didn't replace it or something.
That's funny.
So it cracked him up. And so he sent that out as the email. And it's like, dude, it's a family joke. That's not going to play many other places. You know, but he sent it out. And then he gets, that's cold and harsh from the guy. It's like, I was talking about so-and-so.
Oh, God.
But that's the thing. You just...
Yeah, I hear ya.
You just play with the wording.
Exactly.
Anyway,
well, it's getting a little late.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So you might get going.
Well, I think we've run our course in terms of podcast stuff, anyways.
Yeah.
So, just quickly, since this was supposed to be a holiday thing, the memories of old. Anybody have one that they want to share?
With Ohio or just in general?
Holidays
in general.
Holidays are always crazy for my house because usually we have, since my family is so big with like extended cousins and all, there's like probably like 200 or more than that of us. So there'd be like going to 4 different places. Like, so it's my house, my brother's house, my great Aunt Gingy who died a few years ago, but she was like 105. She was Irish. So Irish, like,
age, yeah.
So there was a bunch of Irish and American, a lot of people, a lot of different cultures around here. So,
International house, as it were.
Oh, yeah. Like, Irish, Canadian, American, Brazilian, Guatemalan, 2 African American, adopted.
Is that Carmen?
No. Italian, German, Dutch, Swedish, English, I don't know. There's a bunch of people, so. Yeah. Wales, too, so.
So it's
Oh, yeah. All over the map, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, how about you, Steffany?
Me? Well, I have a bigger family as well. I have a lot of cousins, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
On my dad's side, especially. My dad's one of 5.
Okay.
And all his brothers have kids, so some are younger, and he has a brother that has, like, kids my age, so, like, older. But the rest of his brothers are younger, and they have younger children, too. But anyway, so we always have memories of, like, Christmas Eve and stuff, like, doing it as, like, a family. Like, we'll have appetizers together, and we'll have, like, different types of seafood. Because where my dad's from, that's what they do for Christmas Eve. And also, like, my mom's dad is one of 4, so he has a big family on his side. My mom is just one of 2. She has a brother. And I'm one of 3, but hopefully my family will grow. I plan to have a lot of kids. Hopefully
all you have
4.
to do is find the guy, right?
Yeah, hopefully 4. We'll see. But anyways, so my favorite Christmas memory,
Hold on.
it's hard to pick a favorite because, I mean, like, they were all so different. Like, I mean, I don't know, I guess I like Christmas morning, like, opening presents with my grandparents there. We've done that tradition for, like, a couple years now, actually. Like, where my grandparents stay over Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, like, we all open presents as a family. And, like, listen to Christmas music, too. And, like, have breakfast together. Like, that's always nice, because I'm really close with my Nana. And, I mean, like, I don't know, I just remember as a kid getting clothes or sweaters for Christmas and, like, wanting to return sweaters. Or any clothes, and I always wanted toys instead. I used to think it was boring when adults got me clothes as a kid.
I was kind of that way with movies, yeah.
Oh, and someone else got you something other than a movie? Yeah. But people got me clothes.
Where's the Sherlock Holmes stuff?
Right? Or it's like, oh, I got you a present. Oh, I'm 1 year old, got me. It's probably like 12 or 13. A lot of clothes. I'm like, Mom, why all the clothes? She was like, well, you use them every day, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of boring. I was like, I would rather a movie or a gift card to go get a movie.
Yeah, I got a lot of toys, movies, like.
I mean, I did too. Like, I wasn't deprived or anything.
If I got like socks, I would complain. I'm like, like sometimes they throw in pencils. I'm like, what the fuck do I need with pencils, Ma? It's like to write. I'm like, I don't need fucking pencils. We have like 10,000 of them in the house. I don't need any more. I have like 25 in my bag for school. Don't give me any more.
I know, that's the worst when people like overdo it of things you don't need and you're just like, I just got an umbrella or I just got this, and it's like someone buys you in bulk and it's like, that's like the most frustrating thing. Even though
like,
intentions are good.
Like, I always hated getting clothes. I'm like,
I was getting from my great aunt, I love her, but her sense and style is terrible. She used to get me these itchy sweaters that was like 2 sizes, like too big or too small.
Well, in terms of the pencils, I at the risk of doing a bad joke, I'd say that somebody had a point to it. Well, I can't think of what it was.
I always hated getting clothes. I'm like, stop getting me clothes, so they stopped getting clothes. And they're like, do you want socks? I'm like, yes, keep getting me socks because I get holes in my socks.
Yeah, socks are always good.
And they're like, okay. But
I remember.
If anybody buys me clothes, I'm like, I give them the dirtiest look. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that face. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I said I didn't want. I'm like,
I'm picky with my clothes.
But if it's like a robe or like something.
Pajamas, I'll take them,
like,
yeah.
Like, if it was like a new robe, I'll be happy about that. But if it's like clothes, I'll be like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Because the style doesn't match what you wanted, right?
And then it'll be like, I have the fakest smile. Thank you so much.
This is going in
my clothes, throw away and never wear
This is going in the back of my clothes.
I think I've seen some of those pictures on Facebook of the smile that you were just indicating. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, I remember one year I got a fun toy, because when I was growing up, I was kind of like a girly girl, and I got this Barbie doll, and I believe she used to do gymnastics, and the way her legs and her body and her arms were set up, they would, like, retract and, like, go backwards and, like, forward. They were, like, the bendable, like, especially made. And she could do gymnastics, and that was back when, like, my sister and I were both doing gymnastics part-time. So it was really cool. Oh my god, like, I remember when I got that doll. That's a good Christmas toy memory.
Dolls.
Me too, Samantha and Kurt.
I got, like, at least 8 of them.
I loved dolls as a kid.
And say I've always had my head in either mystery books or movie books or movies.
I'm a movie buff.
I was into Sherlock Holmes, like Nancy Drew,
I loved
Hardy
Nancy
Boys,
Drew. Yeah.
all those.
Babysitter's Club. I like.
And I say for me, I was like anything classic films because that's the bulk of what I saw when I was a kid. The Batman. The 89.
Yeah.
The Sherlock Holmes stuff.
Yeah.
I liked some other mysteries like Mark Twain wrote a mystery here or there. That was good. Obviously, any classics like Inherit the Wind, any of those kind of things, good. But I've recently gotten into this Laurie R. King series of books where Sherlock Holmes meets his equal in a woman and winds up marrying her, and they go and solve mysteries together. And there's like 15 books in the series now.
Wow.
But it's a good series. The newest one comes out in February. It's called Dreaming Spies.
Oh.
The first one is The Beekeeper's Apprentice. Over 20 years old now. But all good.
I remember the worst gift I got was the Beach Boys album from my godmother.
You did? You got the Beach Boys from Iconic?
Yeah. I looked at I'm like...
The Christmas album or just the regular?
No, just a regular album, like one of their popular albums or
they
whatever.
They're good, though. They're good.
I was not a fan of them, but I was, but also I was sick of their song because I heard it so much.
She tried to get you to
Also from like
appreciate
dance class,
stuff, yeah.
and I'm like, I actually threw out the album 2 days later after
you did?
Christmas.
Did she ever find out?
No, I never told her because I was like, thanks. Slide. Next present.
Did Deb or Phyllis like it?
I never opened it. I just looked at it.
Garbage.
Yeah, garbage.
Remember Hanson?
Oh yeah.
How does it go? What song is it?
Pop. Yeah, I think I actually have that on here. Yeah, I think I actually have that on here. Give me a second.
Or Aaron Carter. I want candy. What is that song about?
I want candy. I don't know, but it can't be good.
Can't be the candy. You get at the candy store.
It's about getting a girl named. It's about a girl named Candy.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say just in the options.
I thought it was some other type of candy. You don't get at the store.
How many kind of candies can you get? Or am I a fool for asking that question? I think we know the answer to that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway, just to finish this podcast, I'm Taves.
Steffany.
Kayla.
Thank you for listening. There's a possibility of another podcast with Thomas, his brother, and his wife in December. Otherwise, Happy New Year's. Alright, that concludes our holiday podcast this year. The only reason why I'm doing a wrap-up on part 2, because I could have just very easily ended it with the end of the talking, but I felt that it was important to tell people to remember, and other people, you the listener, to tell you that if you're having problems of any kind, call this mental, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family, for whatever that's worth. you can seek psychiatric help by a counselor or a therapist or a social worker, or you can go to a hospital and ask to be put in the psychiatric ward for however long you feel that you need to be in there, or however long they feel you need to be in there. Or you can, something in that range, or you can call the suicide prevention hotline as stated in the episode. Part 1, I think it was. Anyway, I did not intend this to be as heavy-handed as it was as an episode, but I think it's a good episode. I think it's worth listening to, because it tells some interesting stories. I'm talking about the whole thing, parts 1 and 2, so this is part 2 that you just listened to. I think it's interesting because it tells different stories, and it tells stories of a couple of people with depression, problems that they've had, and how they cope with things and struggle through things. But also there's a lot of humor there, again, either by design or by accident. I'm not really sure, probably by accident more than design, but there's a lot of humor there that, although some of it is mean, I will admit to that, and I apologize if it offends anybody, but it is meant to be cartoonish, and it is meant to be funny to anybody that knows these people that we're talking about, because these people that we make fun of, we either like them or we don't, and we specify to each person whether or not we like them and whatnot. Quick tag up on bullying. Bullying was mentioned in part 2 and part 1. I do want to point out that bullying is not okay and should be handled in some way. Unfortunately, it does not get better on its own. You have to make it better, as I said on the moving violations episode that I did about the movie Bully and Bullying. So if you haven't heard that, listen to that. That's worth a listen. It would, tell you a few things about what I've went through, and some other people that I talked to that they went through some similar things. So anyway, that's it. I should really use the rest of this time to just wish everybody happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Christmas if you're from the UK, happy Merry Christmas if you're from America, happy Hanukkah, happy Rosh Hashanah, what else is around this time? Happy whatever that's around this time, winter solstice, etc., that you may celebrate at this time of year, December and early January, mid to late December and early January. Happy New Year, all that stuff. And you hear me say at the end of the podcast, or you heard me say at the end of the podcast, that there's another shot at doing a podcast with Thomas, Thomas's wife, and Thomas's brother. I just wanted to point out, one, the clarification of who I was talking about, which I just did, and 2, that that podcast will probably be heard in January because we're looking at recording that New Year's Eve if everything goes well. If it doesn't, like last month, who the hell knows when it will be recorded, but we'll see. Not a complaint, just a statement. Anyway, happy holidays, everybody, and hopefully I'll have some better and more interesting content in the new year, and maybe I can get my dad to sit down and do that Jersey Boys Gangster podcast. We'll see. So keep your fingers crossed. That may come between now and the new year. Otherwise, you'll hear it in the new year. So, again, happy holidays, and that's it. I'm Nate Taves. Nate Taves. Thanks for listening.